Oh. If I had done that in real life, the repair bill would set me back hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'd likely have to be airlifted to the nearest hospital. So luckily, that crash happened virtually on this simulation driving rig. But what is a driving sim rig, and why does the Drive office have one? Sim racing really exploded from 2020 because of that little thing, what was it called? COVID. You might have heard of it. With most of the world in lockdown, no one was able to drive, and a sim racing rig like this was a way to bring that experience into the comfort of your own home. There's no worrying about the crash repair bill, no worrying about licenses or petrol, or even speeding fines. It's as simple as turning on a PC, jumping into your favorite video game, and zooming off into the horizon. And if you can see the appeal in it, you aren't the only one. At the start of 2019, iRacing, one of the leading racing simulator video games, had around 5,000 members, but that climbed to nearly 40,000 in April 2020, an 800% jump. Well, yes, it's true, numbers did start to fade away as the world opened back up, but even as recently as the end of last year, there are still a healthy 17,000 or so players. Similarly, Assetto Corsa, another popular racing video game, hit a peak player count just shy of 20,000 just 3 months ago. Even forgetting these fancy games that cater to hardcore and expensive racing simulator setups, Sony's Gran Turismo 7 launched in 2022 on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and has since sold around 6 million copies worldwide. Likewise, Microsoft's Forza Motorsport, available on Xbox and PC, also caters towards racing fans and just launched a new title late last year. So there's clearly a very big market for racing video games, and also a really big market for the racing simulators to enhance them. In fact, the racing simulator market was valued at $480 million US last year, and is set to grow beyond $500 million by the end of 2024. So what exactly is fueling this growth? Well, in a word, it's esports. And for those of you that might be thinking that video games can't be considered a sport, I mean, one of my uni teachers definitely did, just think about this. Esports revenue is due to hit $4.3 billion this year. That's billion with a capital B. And sure, Dota 2 and Counter-Strike and Fortnite might get all the headlines, but simulation racing can teach you legitimately transferable skills that you can take onto the racetrack. Just last year, the Gran Turismo movie told the real-life story of Jan Mardenborough, who won an online racing video game competition, went pro with Nissan, went on to race at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and compete in Super GT, Super Formula, and the FIA World Endurance Championship. So, you still think video games are for kids? What exactly do you need to get yourself set up in racing? Well, obviously, there's the steering wheel, the seat, and the pedals, but arguably the most crucial component is the PC, which everything plugs into, and it needs to be beefy enough to run all the video games. It's the engine running the whole thing, if you'll take the metaphor. Which is why we've come to Aftershock PC Australia, a custom PC builder, to pick their brains about what you need to power your simulation driving rig. Hey, how you going? Tung from Drive.
G'day Tung, Richard, the founder of Aftershock Australia.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So we just wanted to sort of ask you a couple of questions about, custom PCs and what you sort of provide to the, simulation rig space and market.
Absolutely.
But first, tell us a bit about Aftershock. What do you guys do? How big are you? How long have you been doing this?
So I've started Aftershock in 2018. We were a very small company on St Kilda Road, myself and 2 staff building custom PCs. I sort of thought there was a big gap in the market in Australia. There was a lot of companies selling parts, there was a lot of DIY builders that would buy the parts and build them, and there was some pre-built systems, basically black boxes, and I thought, we need to make this more exciting for people. So let's come in and let's offer to people full customization. We'll build whatever excites you. Sort of settled on this building for the last couple of years in West Melbourne, doing quite a few hundred builds a week.
Wow.
Got just over 100 staff now, building, testing, getting it all going.
A lot of the stuff that you guys do is a custom build. What are some of the more sort of outlandish and over-the-top builds that have come through, the workshop before?
Yep, we get all sorts of things. So we've had full builds people have loved tanks, and we've built the PC into a tank, and
Wow.
done the PC, built it into a guitar. So cutting out the back of the guitar, building the water loop inside the guitar, you can see it coming through, and you can still take off and play the guitar. If someone can dream it up, then we can implement that idea. We've got all the facilities to fabricate and modify and
Wow.
do whatever someone is after.
Yep, sky's really the limit, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Can you name drop any famous clients you might have had? Any celebrities that you might have built PCs for?
Certainly can. Yeah, Nick Kyrgios
Yep.
is one fairly recently that we've been working with. Yeah, he wanted his PC themed around one of his favourite characters, and so we went ahead and did that for him, went and set it up in his house, got it all themed up. He's loving it. He does a lot of streaming on it.
Yep.
Jack Doohan, we were just at the F1
Cool.
and presented him a PC that he had dreamt up and was based around his sort of favourite games. So yeah, that was super fun as well.
Awesome. So obviously I'm here from Drive. Like, run us through, are these custom PCs that you guys do, are they suitable for sort of like sim racing rigs and things like that?
Yeah, the market for sim rigs is growing like crazy. It's just been, we're working with all sorts of customers daily that want to get a full sim rig set up in their house, or sometimes their business. Sometimes they'll be getting multiple for their business just because it's cool to have it, or for whatever reason. I guess the heart of that sim rig is the PC that's powering it, and some of the games, some of the monitors that people put on it, etc., need a lot of power to make that sort of get the full experience out of all of that.
Yep.
A few of the key things you need, apart from the power of the PC, you need to make sure that your graphics card has enough ports for the monitors. If you're having multiple monitors in your setup, then you need to be allowing for that.
Yep.
The motherboard needs to be able to have quite a lot of USB ports to allow for the pedals and the steering wheel and the keyboard and mouse and the seat and all of the rest of it. Yeah, so that's, I guess they're sort of the three key important things that you would need, if you're getting a PC for using in a sim rig.
Yep. Run us through, I guess, the software side of things. Like, what video games are popular with sim rigs? What are people playing at the moment?
Well, the F1 obviously was just on in Melbourne,
Yep.
so there's a whole suite of people, and that's by far our most popular at the moment is the F1. Forza is super popular still. There's, I guess a whole range of different games that people are playing to suit their style. So it's not just Formula One cars. There's all sorts of rally cars and monster trucks and the whole works. Yeah.
And I suppose, like, all the bits and pieces that you need out of a sim racing rig, if you were just getting into it, like, what sort of budget would you be looking at? How high can you go with these builds?
To get into it, you're probably looking at a few $1,000s to sort of start off with. Probably the 10 to 20,000 is a common area for full setups. But I've heard of someone recently spending 150 grand on their setup. So you can go absolutely nuts if you want to.
Yep.
I think that sort of thing would be extremely rare.
Yeah.
For a few $1,000s, you're getting a decent rig that you can get you into the sim racing.
If you were looking to build a sim racing rig at home, what would you say is the key component, the one thing that you probably shouldn't cheap out on?
I mean, the monitor is certainly something that enhances your experience a lot. If you're trying to run on a 27-inch single flat screen monitor and have a full sim racing rig, then you're really going to miss out on the experience. So I think if I was to choose one thing, sort of don't cheap out on getting a decent monitor and something that's a PC that's going to be able to run that monitor and run the game, then you're sort of laughing. You're going to get the immersive experience if you've got a good monitor in front of you.
Great. Thanks for your time, Richard.
An absolute
Lovely to meet
pleasure.
you.
Thanks for coming in.
No worries. And aside from the PC that we just got from Aftershock, we've got a steering wheel base, and the pedals from Simucube, as well as a seat base and seat from Track Racer, which is actually the same one that professional race car drivers use. It's a pretty serious setup because here at Drive, we're serious about racing. And as automotive journalists, you might think we're pretty handy behind the wheel, but in reality, well, the truth might surprise you. Over the next couple of months, we're going to be setting up accounts for iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Forza Motorsport, and Gran Turismo 7, and putting out some lap times on some of the world's most famous circuits. If you think you can beat us, well, be sure to take a video, send it in to us, add us as a friend, and let's get a friendly rivalry going. If you think you can beat a motoring journalist in a race, now's your chance to prove it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And to get the full written rundown of our racing simulator rig, read the full article at drive.com.au.